now gets his 9th custom skin in League of Legends. If Faker was a champion, how many League of Legends characters would he have more skins than? For context, there are 468 characters in League of Legends right now that you can play as. How many of them does Faker have more skins than? Brady.
368.
It is much lower than that. I will give you that hint. It's still insane, but it's much lower than that. Lachlan.
200.
Still lower than that. Last guess, and then we're going to move on to the non-League of Legends related questions. But it was too fun to not do at least a couple. All right, Jack. No, Faker has more skins than 62 champions in League of Legends. Keep in mind that the game has been around for almost 20 years. Faker has only played for 11, and some of the champions have been there since the beginning. Faker has more skins than 62 of them. Okay. Fun is an interesting word for that. It is a fun word. Okay. What word is used in both
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Valhallan Camp Hill live stream. I hope everyone is doing well. Obviously, it is going to be myself, Coach Christian, up here, and we may or may not have a special guest. Obviously, I'm not totally sure about that, but we'll continue to build on that as the time comes. Anyway, talking about the match, we have a fun drop for our kids tonight. With it being Veterans Day, a lot of high schools and other facilities that aren't Valhallans aren't able to play tonight. So we're doing a fun drop. It doesn't count for anything in the competition, but we will still be dropping. We will still have matches to watch. All of the divisions will be in one lobby. So it'll be very interesting to see how the lobbies kind of compete with each other, and obviously to see how they and manage and what skills, and especially I think more so for us here, it'll be really interesting to see how different skill level players are really taking what they're learning from Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan and then applying and adapting to those skills in game when they maybe don't have a coach by their side, or have a coach that is just kind of giving them tips here and there, but isn't actually full in-depth in-game coaching. So very interesting to see what will go on here as we continue to build and see what the drops are for tonight. With that being said, we are going to be watching a featured new team currently locked in Shan and Dude, or Lachlan and Drew. Really excited to watch them. Again, this is a brand new team. Obviously, very familiar with Lachlan. He was up here last week, or not last week, the week before, up here casting with me, and will be really interesting to see how he does with a new teammate being Drew and seeing how they compete together, especially more in a fun drop. And one of the great things for them really is that because this is a fun drop, they can kind of learn each other's play styles and get used to each other and kind of build that core foundation before they start to get into competition, which they are in the league. They are joining the league, but they are currently 5 drops behind. So they will not have any points. They will count as missed drops. So they are 5 drops behind. So they will have to do a lot of climbing here if they want to do well in the league and potentially even want to have a spot at playoffs. Of course, it's still possible, but will be very tough for them. So we're going to be watching them. We're going to see how they're going to do. With our alternate or our backup or our 2 or whatever you want to call it, we have the probably my favorite to cast, fan favorite, Landon and Zarek. Landon and Laserbeam, as you guys know, I love to call them up here. Their gameplay is just so unique, and it's so fun to watch, and honestly, it's fun for me to be up here and cast and talk about their game sense and all that. So I'm definitely looking forward to casting them. I'm hoping that you guys enjoy watching them as well, because honestly, I enjoy watching them. And if it was up to me, they would probably be the group that I would watch most of the time, just because they play the game so differently than a lot of other groups do here. So little biased, but but we should be starting the drop at 7:30. I believe that is our hard start time. Obviously, I don't know if that's going to happen for sure, as we've had those before and they don't actually live up, but announcement here. With all this being said, of course, as long as this recording goes well tonight and audio sounds good and all that fun stuff, we will have live stream drops from here on out. At this point, we're just tweaking settings and figuring out everything audio wise and all the technical back end stuff. But as soon as we get all of that stuff figured out, then we will be live. And I promise we are closer than we've ever been. We are so close to being live that realistically we could be live next week for all that I know. So I'm sure Andrew will send a true announcement out about that. If not, I'll probably bug him to send an announcement out about it. So keep your eyes peeled for true featured streams every night of the week. Every night of the week, Monday through Thursday, every night there is class, we will have a stream. Whether it be Fortnite or Apex or Valorant or Rocket League or Overwatch, there will be a stream. And I will be up here casting, giving you guys the play-by-play, letting you know what's going on, of course. And of course, we're not going to let traditions die. We're still going to have our interviews. We're still going to have potentially someone up here with me, all of that fun stuff that I hope that you guys enjoy. I know I enjoy. Kind of takes some of the pressure off me, but we will have someone up here continuing to build those traditions and build those skills for the students. Sorry, my Nose is a little itchy. Currently, we have a kind of a new featured segment up here where we have the kids doing trivia. Oh my gosh, I forgot that word for a second. So we have them doing some trivia, and this is something that more so for our Fortnite kids, so that way they're not missing drops or anything. But it looks like we are getting into the drop. So as soon as I see loaded in, I will switch the screens. I know I'm really excited for this. I know Coach Kyle has been working with them, telling them to try something new that they've never worked on before, especially because this is more of a fun drop. So really interesting to see how they do, and to see if their skills are actually, if they're challenging themselves to try new things and put themselves in uncomfortable situations, because there's nothing to lose for this drop. And we are officially loaded in. So let me switch to the game. Currently watching Lachlan's point of view. We will, of course, be switching back and forth between him and Drew. But definitely looking forward to seeing, and really this is my first time watching Lachlan play Fortnite, so really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do together. No ping yet. This is a team that definitely does have better communication, though, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that communication. Looks like we do have a ping and a mutual agreed upon ping. Drew being a newer student, of course, so it's really great to be able to get this footage of him and see how he does with a more veteran student, that being Lachlan. So looks like we're flying kind of far away here. I don't know if this is a named or unnamed BOI. It looks like we actually have two different spots marked, potentially a rotation spot, or a just a little disagreement, but a very close agreement of, potentially if there's people here, we're going to go here. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not listening to their comms, but definitely looking forward to see how this team does. It looks like I might be getting my guest. I'm not totally sure. I'm going to try my best to continue to watch the game. We are going to an unnamed BOI. Definitely something to highlight. Potentially less traffic there. I don't know how deflated. That's definitely not the right word. How less people there are in this drop, especially with the divisions being combined. But probably a smarter option for them, especially with them being a newer team. Definitely not want to put themselves in a hot drop or a lot of pressure early on and then find themselves struggling later on, or even early on, especially if they get picked off super quick or they're getting pressure from a Division I team. Not that I don't think they couldn't handle it, because I really do believe they could, but not a great way to start off a game is by putting yourself in unnecessary pressure. And I know you guys know it's something that Coach Kyle has harped on them about, is not hot dropping and not putting themselves in unnecessary pressure. Looks like we are going to loot this, again, this kind of camp unnamed POI with a clear rotation to that little POI in front. Lachlan here going to take a chug early to get himself up to full shield, so that way he can just leave everything he needs to for Drew. Unfortunately, not a lot of loot here at this little campsite. Definitely hoping that there's some more down at the... I guess this is kind of like a hangar, or maybe like a power plant. I'm not really sure what to call this little building. Definitely hoping there is some more loot, though, because right now they are struggling on loot. We see Lachlan there having 2 gray guns and impulses. Obviously not where he wants his loadout to be, but as they continue to loot, we can find it. We do see a vending machine here, a purple one. Looks like scrolling through, seeing if there's anything worth buying. Don't know if Lachlan saw anything he's a fan of. Did find some guns. Is going to drop a gun. And I don't think he's realized that he has the minis that he can drop for Drew. Definitely needs to do that. Drew not having any shield yet. Minis could get him up to 50, and then obviously just finding a big would get him up to full. Gonna farm a bit here as we see Lachlan currently farm. Looks like Drew's doing the same thing quite a bit. And there we do see the minis get thrown. And we are just going to see as much farming as possible here. Let's take a quick peek at Drew's loadout. Oh, wow, they are actually already in combat. Never mind. We're just going to talk about the combat. We see Lachlan very quickly build up, try his best to solo one person. Oh, he does get edited on. Gets caught out. Does get a couple shots. Does find the edit. Him and Drew both late. And unfortunately, Lachlan gets knocked. Oh, Drew's in a high-pressure situation. And Drew gets eliminated too. Wow, that is very unlucky for them as they get called out pretty quickly. And with that being said, we're going to rotate to team 2 that we have to cast, which is going to be Landon and Zarek. As soon as I can find my mouse. Now with Landon and Zarek here, currently watching Landon's POV, we did not expect them to get eliminated that early. That has got to hurt in favor of Lachlan and Drew. Especially that's got to hurt their confidence. You know, brand new teammates, not really how you want to start. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Coach Kyle says to them as they are, you know, eliminated that early, and what, you know, what he's feeling, and what he's going to say, and how he's going to continue to kind of build that motivation and confidence up for them as they got eliminated very, very quickly. Landon and Zarek here, though, managing themselves much better. Have them farming mats currently. Landon being trying to get to 500 of all three. He's just about there. He's got 300 bricks. The only thing he's not at 500 of. And loadout-wise, we see no assault rifle, but we do see the Tommy gun and the shotgun, and of course the pistol there. Probably more so for close combat, but of course, Landon, you never know. You know, you never know with Landon. He's, I think one of the things why I mentioned that he's such a fun player to watch is because he uses such unique loadouts that you just don't expect, and part of me kind of loves him for that, because it kind of keeps me on my toes as a caster, never knowing what he's gonna have in the inventory. Switching here to Zarek. Zarek here having a little bit more of a traditional loadout, but again, we see no assault rifle, but we do see shotgun, the P90, and the sniper. The sniper being very good. Sorry there for the little bit of lag, but I love the sniper. It's probably one of my favorite weapons in Fortnite, so really nice to see him have it. And looks like he's got boogie bombs there as well. Essentially what boogie bombs do is they you throw them at your opponent, and they lock out your opponent from shooting, and it causes them to dance for, I want to say, probably 10-ish seconds. I'm not totally sure on that timer, but or until they take damage. So typically it's at least one free shot of, ideally a headshot of them just kind of dancing around. Looks like as Zarek is trying to finally get to 500 brick here himself, which again is very close, he's only 100 off. We will see a rotation that Landon is currently planning. Obviously you guys can't see it quite yet, but planning on their route, where they want to go. One thing that we see from this team quite a bit, and especially now that they're back, is holding a car. And they have a car, so it would be really interesting to see how well they hold the car and how much they use this really to their advantage, because again, we see Landon there all the time, hold the car, use it, using it late game, using it as much as they can until they have to bail out. Sorry about that, had to take a step away to fix something real quick, but looks like you're going to continue to loot here a little bit. And at this point, don't need to really waste any mats. Being in Slurpee, and both at, no, actually, Landon not being at 200 shield, so he definitely can use this area to get himself to 200 shield. It looks like Slurpee wasn't looted, so they're going to have nice loot here going into the mid to late game. We do see the upgrade bench there as well. Zarek's going to find the chest. Does find a scoped AR. The scoped AR is insane that gun is back. So for those that don't know, the scoped AR is a no drop gun and no recoil gun. So wherever you shoot, that's where the bullet's going. So scoped AR can be very useful. Close range, mid-range, long range, that gun kind of being insane. It's a little bit of a slow rate of fire, so it's a little hard to use at closer ranges, but a very good gun in my opinion. For the little knowledge I have about Fortnite, it is one of my preferred guns. We see them really just trying to pick this place as clean as possible. Obviously still leaving a lot of the slurp chug, or the chug, I don't know what the chug barrels, there we go. I couldn't think of barrel. As it is not in Storm, so they don't have to worry about it too much, but definitely something to be aware of, as people could come back to the spot later and potentially farm them if it does rotate back into Storm or is near Storm. And I almost wonder if that's something that Coach Kyle has talked about the healing and battle that Fortnite has kind of evolved to. It's kind of crazy to talk about how much Fortnite has evolved really into that, healing, being as live as long as you can kind of battle. And it looks like Zfxtero here is going to play a little safe, maybe hearing someone drop in or hearing someone reboot. We see the ping there from Landon. Potentially marking where he saw some teams fall into or again drop from or whatever it may be. They're going to definitely keep an eye on it, keep an eye on this area. Don't know if they're going to engage quite yet. They don't want to be too greedy here. But as Storm pushes them in, they are definitely going to keep an eye on it. Landon spots a vehicle, spots a helicopter. Unfortunately, I don't really know if Zfxtero, I don't really know if Landon has anything for this encounter. It's maybe being a little out of his range, maybe having a pistol that he could use. I don't know if he changed his loadout since the last time we checked. Could be scary for him. Zfxtero seeing people, being very patient, not taking a shot. Landon pushing in. They're going to try to take some shots at the chopper, see if they can't get it disabled. Landon taking shots continuously. It looks like he is using that pistol that we talked about. Zfxtero here kind of rotating a little bit as the chopper got out of his line of sight. Landon here getting in the 18-wheeler. Very interesting vehicle choice here, but probably just going to use it to rotate in a circle and then potentially switch vehicles or just completely get out. Circle not really being that far. I'm surprised that they decided to leave this early. Maybe afraid of that chopper coming back for them. It's definitely a worry for them. A lot of building going on around here. Could be a team here, maybe left behind. They're definitely scoping it out. Don't want to get out unless they feel like they have to. And Zfxtero finds a chest and he's got to loot it. Wow, he does find an upgrade on the shotgun. It was a good decision for him. As they very slowly and surely climb this hill. This vehicle definitely not being the best choice for them. Now finally getting up top and finding some road, being able to catch some speed here. Looks like they're going to stick to the off-roading. Other than that chopper, not seeing much of anybody as they continue to just hold a position. And we do see the car here. We actually see a couple. Could be a little worrisome as we see a launch pad, or the meme pad as others call it. Looks like they might potentially switch cars here. Nope, they're going to stay in the truck and slowly but surely kind of churn their way to the top of these hills / mountains. It looks like we do see some shots fired in front of them. Looks like they could be at the build or maybe the top of this mountain or potentially around this little peak right here. They're just going to slowly creep up. They don't need to push in quite yet. They can take the time. They're going to destroy the bush, make sure no one's in there. And it looks like they do see people. Landon, or Zfxtero potentially, could be taking a shot. Decides not to. Tree's kind of getting in his way. Landon here, going to bash into the metal. It does nothing. Zfxtero going to jump out, potentially get some shots. Very aggressive push for them. There's a lot of teams here. They need to get out. Oh my gosh. Zfxtero getting an insane shot, an insane headshot to knock someone. As they are going to decide to maybe take this fight now with that crazy knock. And we see Coach Kyle talking to them right now. Let's tune into their comms and see how they're feeling after that shot.
Got out of the car for 2 seconds. Wait.
Because they're afraid if they shoot Zfxtero, they'll tick him off.
Oh, one jumped out. But he's not. No! Yes!
Oh my god, 105!
I'm shooting! I'm breaking the helicopter.
Zfxtero, you're unbelievably cracked, dude.
I'm breaking the helicopter. Wait. Come on. One, blow it up. Give me a second. The helicopter's almost gone. Behind
They've
me.
run. They're
Behind me, by the way.
Zarek is not with you at all.
I know.
Zarek, you need to go back. Zarek, you need to go back for your team, buddy.
There we go. Oh, hi. How you doing? It's just one guy. Oh, you. I was distracted. No, I wanted to blow up the helicopter. No. That's so mean. This is fun night. What are these people doing? Just blow his head off. He has his teammate with a sniper up. That's not his teammate. He's just standing there, alright?
Hey, you can go for the cards, Eric.
So I think one of the interesting things that we have to talk about is Zfxtero maybe getting a little too greedy there, trying to get a helicopter, trying to find the solo, and leaving Landon behind. Definitely miscommunication on their part. Not great. Zfxtero does secure the car pretty much freely, so it looks like we might see potentially him get in the truck and get out. Definitely not a great spot, whatever, for him to be in, as now he has to worry about rebooting his teammate in a varied, kind of heavy area. Looks like Landon gonna find the reboot and gonna mark it. Potentially one that's a little more out of the way that he might be able to get free. But Zfxtero being in a not great position with his truck, just having to slowly but surely kind of tank these mountains. Definitely wasting a lot of time and a lot of circle time as he tries to get to the reboot. Zfxtero takes such a greedy shot and gets it. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, all I'm saying is there is a reason why I have given this man the nickname Laser Beam, because he single-handedly hits the craziest shots I have ever seen. As he hits another one right there, Zfxtero, even with some misplays, gotta feel good about himself and his aim. Oh my gosh, I cannot describe how insane that shot just was. Zfxtero being very careful, his car being low on fuel. He has to play this very specifically. Looks like he might have given up on the reboot as well. Does find a llama, could potentially use it for some extra loot and ammo and mats. Doesn't decide to trade any loot, but does pick up the mats and ammo. Feeling very good about his sniper aim. Definitely wants as much sniper ammo as possible. Looks like he still might go for this reboot. It's really not that far away, 200 meters out of zone. If he's quick enough about it, he could get it. But I think the question is if, especially with him kind of slowly chugging along here and his car now officially being out of gas, him having to run these last 100 meters, definitely not in the spot he wants to be in. This is going to put them in a bad spot. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Zfxtero here, especially as he gets the reboot, as Storm gets to him. They're going to take a lot of unnecessary damage. Luckily, Storm's still only doing 1 tick, so he doesn't have to worry too much about it and having 3 meds. Zfxtero does confirm the reboot. Now, Landon also going to take some damage, so they're going to have to waste 2 meds here, potentially, to get themselves back up to full. Looks like Zfxtero finds a boat. Should be picking up his teammate in this. And there it is, as we see them use this boat to get into circle. Landon driving. Zfxtero, being the laser beam that he is, wants to be able to shoot off this thing. And they are just going to get themselves into circle, then probably abandon ship here. Try and find the best spot possible for themselves. So they're just going to chill on this island. Landon, being very low loot, needs to find something, although taking a kill there. Landon now having a lot of loot to choose from, kind of picking what best suits him. And they're just going to hold this spot. We're definitely going to see the use here of some shields and some meds. Landon being full health, actually, not needing the med at all. But Zfxtero here definitely needing to use some shield and the med kit. going back to Landon here, since we've been watching Zerek for quite a while, I think the scary part for Landon is mat management at this point. Luckily, that player must have had a good chunk on him, because Landon is about 250 of each. Not needing to worry too much. Also being able to pick apart this building a little bit to get himself up a little extra. Having about 300 of each, except for Brick, where he's only about at 200. Zerek gonna find someone he wants to shoot at. And I want to watch Landon, but a laser beam, he's been on it this game, and I can't turn away. He's too good. Zerek just sitting here watching his prey. This man is like a shark in the water, trying to find his next victim. And they want this player, as they are shooting some rockets to blow up builds from the boat, actually. Zerek keeping a very close eye on this. Circle is coming in, though. They have to get out of here quick. They don't want to take too much unnecessary damage. Luckily, the zipline right there next to them, they are able to get out of it pretty quick. Still not in zone, though, but definitely bought themselves a lot more time. Do you need to be a little afraid of that porta-fort in those builds? They know someone's in them. Looks like they're going to hold this position a little bit. And again, we see that confirmation of the shooting going on. Zerek finding another and getting another insane shot. Not a headshot, but crazy shot for Zerek. If there's anything that Zerek's got to be feeling good about this game, it is his aim. As we see Landon get shot at quite a bit. He does get beamed. Zerek gonna take another sniper shot here. Doesn't find anyone. They need to get in zone. Zerek caught in storm here. Needs to get next to Landon. Landon knocked, then being pinned in storm. Zerek doing his best to build a box here and be able to hold himself and potentially get up his teammate. So he is going to go for the res. Does decide to leave it. Maybe too aggressive to get the res there. Zerek has to be very careful here. Building very well, though. And the card up now for Landon. Zerek could potentially just go down it and try to grab it. But it does have some enemies right below him at this point. Does have to be aware, as they're probably watching the card, making sure he can't get it. Zerek, though, just playing very patient. Doesn't need to over push himself. He is on the edge of zone here, so no matter what he does, he can hold his position. And some fighting going on around him. I don't even know if the teams know that Zerek is up there. So he can pretty much just chill at this point. Essentially wait for some of the teams to kill each other or the third party each other, and then maybe get some easy elims. Zerek holding an angle, ready just to take off ahead at any second if he's needed to. Trying to get as much intel as possible as he's doing this little corner peek. Still holding, still being very patient. Again, I still think he's just on the edge of circle, so he really doesn't have to move, which is a really good position for him to be in. So we see Storm ever so slowly creep in on him, but as I said, he is on the edge. He does not need to worry, does not need to move, and is just going to be able to edit to get himself out of this position. And it looks like he takes off running. Has to be afraid, as there are some teams behind him to his left. Holds edge of zone yet again. Zerek being very tactical in his positioning here. Sorry. Scouting out some loot, seeing if he finds anything he can use. Does find some mats. Could potentially run out and pick them up. Might take some unnecessary damage, though. Especially at this point in the game, Storm is going to do a lot to him. He does have the med kits, to recover. But looks like he might just walk with Storm here. Does hear some audio around him. Fight is going on. Now, unfortunately, Storm kind of does him dirty. Zfxtero just running on foot, hoping he doesn't get noticed. It looks like we have some teams fighting each other. They're trying to keep the low ground, trying to go as secretive as possible. He's going to find someone, going to attempt to take a shot, going to find one shot. Not being in a great position here, does decide to build up a little bit. Does see someone right in front of him. Doesn't build up a wall though, is tunneling. Does get a couple shots on him. Someone right above him. He's going to try and get one. Doesn't find the shot. Does decide just to leave it. Storm still moving. Zfxtero at this point just playing for as much placement as he can. Looks like he's going to pull out the sniper. He's been feeling good with the sniper all game. Let's see if he can find one. He's just going to box up and get himself back up to 100 green health as he does not have any shield. He needs to be as much health as possible. Storm still rotating. Zfxtero does not need to worry about it, at least for this second. Does kind of give himself away with the edit there. Has to be careful at this point. Let's go. It looks like he might dip out behind him. Does decide to leave his box. He's going to rotate here to a different position, using some of their builds, trying to blend in. Has to be aware of where Storm is going, though. Does see someone and gets a kill. Applies instant pressure. Let's see if he can get another. And he gets another. Oh my gosh. Zfxtero playing out of his mind. Has to be so careful here as he's trying to, someone is trying to pin him into zone. Him being on 6 health. Ideally, he would love to heal at this point, but I don't know if he has the time. And he gets caught out. Zfxtero with an insane second place finish. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Could not have done any better. That might have just been a one-on-one encounter. Wow. That's all I can say at this point is wow. Zfxtero gonna come up here for the interview. Zfxtero, you know, I don't know if you like the nickname the Laser Beam, but I think at this point it has to stick because wow. How does it feel, especially with that sniper, to just hit some of those crazy shots?
I don't know how to describe it.
So talk to me a little bit about what was going through your mind right there at the tail end of that game. You know, you get those 2 elims, you know, you have a lot of pressure on you and you're super low health. What's going through your mind? What are you trying to do? Again, really, what's going through your mind and are you panicking?
I was panicking because of my HP near the end. If I knew that kid was lower, I probably wouldn't have panicked as much.
Okay. So, and we saw it happen twice. Landon there getting knocked out twice. How much pressure does that put on you to, you know, make sure that your decision making is the best it can be and decide, do I have the time to reboot my teammate? Do I need to kind of leave him? You know, what's going through your mind in those situations when it's that reboot is potentially on your mind?
I kind of like lose faith a little.
Okay.
In those situations because he is the one that like leads me where to go.
Okay.
So whenever I see that a reboot is possible, I'll always take it.
Perfect. And again, I don't want to harp on it, but I think whether you like it or not, you have to live up to the nickname, the Laser Beam, because you just continue to hit crazy shots. So, and what are you looking forward to changing next drop that you guys want to work on better from the last drop?
I want to panic less in order to think of where I'm building, like what I should build.
Perfect.
Just running out in the open.
Yeah, perfect. Well, if you want to go ahead and give the headset to your teammate, let me pick his brain a little bit. Thank you. Go celebrate a good second place finish. The man, the IGL, Landon himself. Landon, how does it feel after that last drop?
It felt amazing.
Perfect. You know, Landon, I don't want to talk too much about your teammate. Obviously, you know, you guys have a lot of trust in each other, but how does it feel as an IGL perspective, and especially someone that, you know, you guys have very clear roles that you see Zarek just hit these insane shots, whether you're dead or alive.
It's just baffling to watch almost, but I know that no matter what, we're doing this as a team. Like that's always like the biggest thing because a lot of time it's the direction that also counts. So just seeing him hit those wild shots, it's like I did something too. Also sometimes.
Perfect. So we talked a little bit to Zarek about when you unfortunately get knocked or get thirsty or whatever. What's going through your mind as the IGL to make sure that Zarek is doing his best to stay calm and isn't panicking when you are not in the game?
Pretty much all I do is I try my best to direct him and just like ping exactly where to go, saying the person on your left, person on your right, remember that. Just constantly try to make sure I remind him and keep him just sane, like in general, just thinking about the game instead of thinking about the consequences of the game.
Perfect. So essentially just an extra set of eyes just from his perspective.
Yeah.
Perfect. And finally, what are you guys hoping to do better at this drop than the previous drop?
Hopefully I don't get jumbo trying to blow up a helicopter. I was trying to have some fun and some man spawn on. And all I was trying to do was delay because I just knew that if I could stay out long enough, then Zarek pretty much would have. I mean, I could have probably tried to take a shot or two, but I most likely would have died because I didn't know if he had a duo or not. And that was kind of the scary part is, am I getting 1v2'd or is this a 1v1?
Yeah, correct.
And you just don't know that.
Yup.
So I was just trying to get height and just stall out time.
Yup. Well, and realistically, in that circumstance, probably the best thing for you to do is to stall and wait for your teammate there. Again, probably just a little unlucky with that lack of awareness of how much health is he on, is it 1v2, and all that stuff. So, well, thank you so much for your time up here. Go ahead and celebrate with your teammate and get ready for your guys' second drop. Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that. I'm going to assume that you didn't. Hopefully you didn't because of the new audio setup. But we have been told that some of the Valhallan staff will be participating in this drop because of it being kind of a fun week and being a fun drop. And more so, specifically, our two coaches, being Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan, will be joining the drop as well. And hopefully from them, from their perspective, getting or steamrolling their students. And obviously the students wanting to steamroll their coaches. Really interesting to see what they do in this perspective. And again, we are going to go back to the perspective of Lachlan, excuse me, I almost said Landon, Lachlan and Drew for the first part of this drop. And for these guys, they really have to clean it up. They, at this point, especially after the last drop, they need to figure something out. Yeah, and maybe that's blunt, maybe that's harsh, but they need to figure something out, and they need to do it quick, especially if they want a chance to compete in the season more than just for fun. If they want to take it seriously and potentially score a couple placements and maybe sneak their way into playoffs, they have to figure something out, and they have to do it quickly because, again, they're behind 5 drops, and they have to make up as many points as possible, which means they have to be getting as many first places and as many kills as possible. These guys need to figure it out, and luckily right now is their chance to figure it out, but man, do they need to clean up this second drop much better compared to their first drop. With that being said, I know for a fact that we will have Landon and Zarek absolutely targeting Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan. And honestly, I hope that we get to see that. I hope that we get to see someone run down the coaches and absolutely eliminate them from the drop. That would be one of the best things that I think I would get to witness, and that all of you guys would get to witness as well. Looks like they are trying to find some computers to load in here. And actually, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to step away. I need to grab a drink. So if you guys excuse me just for one quick second, I will be back in a second.
Matthew's computer, the one next to Mark. So we don't have to worry about.
Okay, I am back. Again, sorry about that. Definitely need to just take a second and grab a drink. One of the things that, as we kind of have a little bit of dead time, you guys don't know as much as talking up here, especially by myself, is very hard on the mouth and on the voice. So definitely dries out very quickly. You have to be aware. If you guys see me take a sip of my drink, you have to excuse. But as we continue to get the drop ready, we are trying to find computers that are updated so that way Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan can load in. And Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan honestly being very excited to potentially get in here. Yep. What? Lachlan and Drew. Sorry, I had a... What? You guys are my third, so... Sorry. Kind of one of the more unique, cool things that you guys get to see is that obviously if a kid comes up here and wants to interact with me or has some questions about the stream or anything, that they will always take priority to the stream itself. So you saw me talking to one of the kids as they again had some questions about if the match is being streamed and who is being streamed.
So if you guys are looking, Jamie, her favorite tag is Zfxtero. So if you happen to see Zfxtero bragging out, that is Coach Jamie.
We see Zfxtero bragging out in the track.
And the kids, I think, being the most excited as they've ever been for a drop.
If you kill Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan, feel free to
And the kids getting permission to emote on Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan. That is wild. Obviously, one of the things that we teach here and that we are very strict on is, sorry, I just blanked, is sportsmanship and being good sports and being good teammates and just being good people. So we don't deal with any toxicity or anything like that, but given the green light to be toxic to their coaches, which is so funny, by the way. All of them will be in the same lobby, and I know.
When Coach Jonathan and I frag out your soul, we are going to floss like our lives depend on it.
And we have some trash talk going on.
Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan are on VHTL 5 and VHTL 5 and VHTL 19. And I look forward to
We have a lot of trash talk going on, so very interesting to see how they do, because I know, and I'm sure all of you guys know, that the coaches are absolutely going to be hunted down. They are going to be hunted down and killed as fast as possible from anyone. So very interesting to see. Looks like I have good old Coach Andrew up here with me as well. See,
going on,
he
Coach?
steps on.
May or may not have been sowing some discontent amongst the coaches.
Yeah, I heard you encouraging some toxicity going on.
You know, it's not often that our kids get to just kind of cut loose and have fun with that stuff. You know, when they're in matches, we try to keep everything as professional as possible. So when we get an opportunity like this, we're going to take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just blast away, have fun, do whatever. And of course, the kids just eat it up when they get a chance to go
Oh,
after
of
the
course,
coaches.
of course. And as I was saying, I believe that you heard, but of course, the coaches are going to be targeted right away.
Oh yeah, right.
Like they are going to be followed. They are going to be hunted down. So
100%. Yeah, if they last more than 2 minutes, I'd be shocked.
yeah, I think it's going to be a lobby versus coaches.
Yep.
As we get into the game here, we will switch the camera. And again, currently watching Lachlan and Drew, hoping for a much better performance this drop for them. Drew definitely not having as much of a relationship with the coaches as this being his first real practice. Lachlan, though, having quite a relationship with, I think, most of the coaches. So definitely might be some influence from him to push his coaches.
It's a heck of an introduction to the team. Come in and get thrown in against the coaches on night one.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if anybody's looking for Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan right off the bat here. You're going to see a mass just drop all in one spot.
We see Lachlan and Drew going to where they went last time, which ended in a very quick elimination from them. Hopefully, hopefully a better drop from them this time. Because we do see some people potentially contesting their spot. Looks like Lachlan being much lower to the ground than Drew is.
Sounds like it's chaos already.
Already.
Trying to keep an eye on the kill feed. I haven't seen a whole lot happen.
Yeah,
yet,
no,
though.
no one has died yet. And I would assume that we will see quite the reaction
Oh, yeah.
from the coaches when they die. I feel like Lachlan and Drew actually switching their spot here, going to literally as edge of the map as you could get.
Yeah, you know, it almost looks like they're actually focused on getting out and trying to get a good build out and not really focusing on going after the coaches.
Yes, as we see Drew there already taking some shots, they might get pushed pretty quickly.
I actually like this from them, you know, being a brand new team, not really knowing each other. They're taking the time and the opportunity to get in some legit practice as opposed to just goofing off, you know, kind of how everybody else is.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially with how we saw their last drop, you know, them finishing 39th, obviously not a great place to finish. They definitely needed to figure something out here, and maybe this is it. Maybe they need to play a little more patient early on and then can get more aggressive once they feel comfortable with each other. Of course, we see the farming of the mats and the looting up. Not farming maybe as much as they should be, especially from Drew's perspective.
Got a nice loadout, though. Pretty nice balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of surprising, you know, when you get an initial drop like this. A lot of times it seems like you get, you know, one or two things, but they got a nice spread there of long range, mid range, up close, heals, movement. They got kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Drew would probably, at least looking at Drew's loadout, would maybe want differently would be ideally a shotgun, but you know, not having to worry too much about it. Looks like we have Lachlan taking some shots. We are going to have some combat. Drew misses a sniper shot. Is going to find some AK shots, though. Has to be aware, again, without that shotgun. Currently in a box. I'm going to switch to Lachlan's perspective as, never mind, Lachlan currently knocked. And unfortunately, we see it again. Lachlan and Drew being eliminated very quickly. And we'll very quickly switch to Landon and Zarek. who, again, are just one of my favorite teams to watch.
I don't know what happened, but looking at the fact that Coach Jonathan and Coach Kyle are both kind of standing up from their computer, it looks like they got hunted down.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I might have missed it in chat, but yeah, I'm going to assume that they are already eliminated as well. Looks like Landon and Zarek kind of also playing their game as well. Knowing that the coaches were in the drop, knowing that they would probably be pushed, they're gonna do what works for them. And I think for them, they have a vengeance out to get first place. Since last drop, they got second. You see Landon here getting as many mats as he can. Maybe some... I don't know if you heard that. Maybe some screen peeking going on. And looks like I am going to be joined now by Coach Kyle as we continue to watch Landon and Zarek.
Oh, hello, Coach Christian. How we
Coach
doing?
Kyle. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I have been stream sniped by my own children. I wish that was an exaggeration. So Coach Jonathan and I got to play. Lachlan is hovering. I'm gonna move away from the mic like this. Found the drop spot and conned us, and I was like, dude, like, come on. But let's be real. I kind of expected it. So.
Yeah.
The small minor amount of bitterness about being literally split screen.
Yup.
Oh, but man, it's so much fun. What a great night this drop has been. I'll be honest, it's been phenomenal just to be able to do fun stuff.
Absolutely.
By the way, you and I are geniuses for, like, you know, having the screen sharing for Zarek and Landon up the last match. Cinema. Absolute cinema.
Hey, you know, I brought him up here. You know, I talked to him. I told him I was like, hey, hey, Zarek, I don't know if you like the nickname Laser Beam, but at this point, like, you just have to play into it. I saw we got both of those shots on recording.
That sniper shot, I felt so bad for you here at the booth because I know I squealed the top of my lungs. That man deleted another human being from existence, and the guy that he nailed was 3 zip codes away. I live coached while that happened, and I literally ripped the headset off so I didn't peek the mics. I was like, I cannot believe I just witnessed that.
Well, and the one from the car, too, was just insane. Like, car blocking his view, and he goes, you know what, I'm hitting this, and just takes the shot and gets it. Just
cinema. It literally was peak cinema. I feel like I witnessed a John Wick film. It's just so good. And I want to throw Landon some incredible, like, this is one of the things, so jokingly, right, I named them the honored ones as a reference to Jujutsu Kaisen, the character being like, nah, I'd win. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I had this feeling, I'm like, dude, Landon and Zarek are going to pop off this season. And I'm so glad that instinct existed because they've done nothing but pop off.
Yep.
And I want to give Landon a shout out, right? Something I've noticed is that, like, you can be an amazing fragger, but you kind of need somebody to give you the confidence, the foundation, so that you can go frag out like that. And so the two of them just, like, they work together so well. They talk to each other. They communicate with each other. And there's, like, a level of kindness with that team. I love it. Oh, no, get him.
As we see the knock there.
Oh, I know. I literally stopped mid-talk to be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And he got it, though. He got it.
Yep. I think it was just a solo. Zarek's still caught in the storm.
Yeah, but he's got the grappling gun. He'll make his way out. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
What an astounding group of games today. Truly, what an astounding group. I loved all of it.
And I think one of the things that obviously you don't get to hear as much, because, of course, you're not up here with me, is that...
Well, right.
Is that I constantly, whenever I'm watching them, harp constantly on how unique their team is and how well they work together and how much trust they have, and even bringing them up here and asking them and talking to them about it. Them being on that level and having that, you know, that same level of understanding and communication is just phenomenal to see from a coach perspective.
And it's the relationship, right? Which is why, like, anytime one of them is like, oh, I'm only here because of, like, if Zarek's like, oh, I'm only here because of Landon, or oh, I'm only here because of Zarek. I'm like, no, like, guys, that's not the friendship, the relationship, the fact that you, like, there is a kindness to the way that the two of them act towards one another that is so important in a professional setting because it shows that, yes, the results are really important, and they are important. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we like losing. Like, what am I? Come on now.
Yeah, of course.
But if that level of kindness says, hey, the results of my work are not what's important. What's important is my relationship with you.
Yo.
Right? And I don't know. Landon was like, I don't believe it. And I was like, Landon, I will bet you any amount of money right now that if I asked Eric who his favorite person in the arena was to play with, who his person he feels the most comfortable playing with right now, I'll bet you any amount of money it's you.
Yo.
He's like, I'll bet you $200 billion. And I stuck my head out. Landon's like, actually, I don't want to take that bet. I'm like, yeah, you don't want to take that bet, dude. I will make a fortune off of you forever. Your children's children will be in debt to me. Oh no!
We see Zerek get sniped from behind.
This is a bit of a reversal of fortunes.
Oh no!
Oh no, for sure. Oh no!
Sandwich between two teams.
And here's the thing, right? This is why we practice the build fights. So Landon has an option. He can rat or he can try to go for it. But he's not ratting. I love it. He's playing for height.
Yeah, it looks like he might go for it.
This is a side of Landon we don't see very often, and I'm really glad to see it. Again, win, lose, or draw. Oh, brutal. What a brutal loss. But again, it's a side of Landon that we don't get to see often, and this is the kind of drop I love because he gets to try that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a fantastic drop, though.
Well, and I think one of the great things that, and we even talked about it last game, or in between these drops, is that Landon now also having that respect of like, oh, I'm dead, but I'm still guiding there.
Yes.
I'm still helping my teammate, even if it is from beyond the grave.
And that is such a huge thing to have happen, to be like, so some people check out when they die, and like there's a couple IGLs in the room that don't check out when they die. And that is such a useful skill to have because it speaks to a level of grit and determination that you really just want to keep cultivating as a coach, and you really want to keep cultivating if you're the athlete. You want that level of grit and that level of determination. It's important, it's vital, it's necessary, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
But I love doing it, and I love that they do it for each other. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know if we want to get them up here potentially to talk a little bit about that unfortunate. Looks like I'm not totally sure.
I'm not either. It looks like Zerik's still here. Oh, it's really hard to see.
Yeah,
past these
it
lights.
is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. They're very bright.
They're very in your face.
Yeah, I don't. Just like my eyes, they burn. But all right.
Looks like they are gonna come up.
Woo! Hey.
So of course we'll talk to you.
Well,
again.
I mean, I'm just gonna I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna let the actual chefs cook. So
Absolutely.
You are the actual chef in this instance. I'm giving you compliments. Come on, brother.
So Landon, again, probably not the drop we would have loved to see that time, but talk to me a little bit about what was going on for you guys there.
I mean, it was all actually going very well, and then it was just Zerek got sniped and someone else saw that. I don't think it was even the person that actually sniped Zerek that pushed us, so it was someone else. So it's just someone taking advantage of an easy third party, which is the same thing we would have done. There's not much you can do too much in that scenario, especially since, again, I didn't know it was a solo.
So what's going through your mind there after Zerek gets sniped? You know he got sniped. You know there's two teams surrounding you guys. How are you playing that? And we saw you build up, but really, what's specifically going through your mind there?
I was just trying to see if I can gain high and just gain view of the situation. Maybe he would lose interest. The moment I heard a grapple gun, I'm like, I can't really get away because I don't have mobility compared to this kid. So, it was more of just seeing if maybe I could pull off something random with a legendary minigun that I got. But
And honestly, from my perspective at least, I'm not one of your coaches, so I can't say too much, but probably not a bad decision, especially because I think you were, he had some control of your box at that time, so probably not a bad decision just to take some shots and see if you can't do anything crazy.
I saw the last kid, I just mowed him down, so maybe I can get the same effect. That's about all I could do.
So talk to me finally a little bit more about what you guys, obviously fun drop week. What from these two drops are you really hoping to do better as we shift back into competition next week?
I think one of the biggest things we gained from this actually was that drop spot, because this was a brand new drop spot for us and we wanted to try it out. And one of our weaknesses is to kind of rely on the same spot over and over again, that same area. So if it's not in that general area, it can weaken us. So having another drop spot on the side of the map will really help us for later competition.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time up here. Thank you for being interviewed. And if you want to go ahead and give the headset to your good teammate, let me probe his brain a little bit. And here he comes. He's back already. The man, the myth, the laser beam. Zarek, how are you feeling after that last drop?
A lot worse.
A lot worse. You know, that's pretty fair, to be honest with you, man. So you get sniped. You know, talk to me a little bit about what's going through your mind as soon as you get sniped, and then what you're saying to Landon.
I didn't even know how to react, honestly, because what I did last game eventually came back.
Yep. Yeah, just kind of shook, kind of caught out. Is there anything you were saying to Landon in that moment, just to kind of make sure that he's aware of, you know, the team to your guys' left or anything like that?
Yeah, I tried saying behind, and then he built in front of him instead. So he got a few shots taken from that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, again, obviously not the drop we wanted. Hearing from Landon, looks like you guys have another drop spot. How does it feel knowing that you guys now have potentially another place that you guys are comfortable landing and knowing that there's good loot and good materials at?
A lot better because our old one didn't have much mats, but this one, both of us can get max easily.
And finally, you know, from this drop or even the drop before, what are you guys hoping to take from these fun drops that you can continue to work on or continue to improve on into competition as we get back to that next week?
Be more mindful around, around me, my surroundings. Just like build a box or something before I take shots.
I get you. All right. Well, thank you so much. Go ahead and I kind of want to say celebrate, but that's not really the right word. Celebrate with your teammate, but good stuff tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week as well. With that being said, I don't know if we're going to have any more post-game interviews. Looks like we will, so I believe we will have Lachlan and Drew up here as well. While we wait for them... Oh, actually, here they come. Looks like we're going to talk to Lachlan first. My good friend, Lachlan, how are you doing? How are you feeling after those two drops?
I'm doing good, but just the first two drops were a little bit, we're just trying to get used to each other, playing with each other, you know?
So talk to me a little bit, and I don't know for sure, but talk to me a little bit about what's going through your guys' mind, you know, both of those drops as you guys are trying to get used to each other.
Going through my mind is just trying to play together, trying to be safe, trying to get some good peeks on people, and just learning how to play together since I've never played with him before, but now. And I don't know what he's going through his mind. He'll probably tell you in a few minutes. That's what's going through my mind.
Perfect. So, unfortunately, you guys eliminated pretty early both drops. Is there anything right off the bat that really stood out that you guys need to clean up as soon as possible?
Playing together, pushing together, getting mats before we push somebody, and just hitting our shots.
Yeah, perfect. So a lot of that just sounds like team composition, team chemistry, which of course will come as you guys continue to play. Finally, I want to talk about you guys joining the league late. How does it feel knowing that, of course, you guys are still in it, but you have so much ground to make up to potentially, possibly sneak your way into playoffs and then get reset from there?
Yeah. It's okay if we don't make it to playoffs. I'm not going to be mad about that since we joined so late in the season. But if we do, that would be a great surprise, and that would be really cool. And I think we'll just have a lot of fun if we did make it to playoffs.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time up here. If you want to go ahead and give the headset to your teammate, Drew. Alrighty. Welcome up here, Drew. This is first time for everything. You're just thrown right into the mix of it. So talk to me a little bit about what's going through your mind relating to the drops tonight.
Well, I was pretty nervous because, I haven't ever played with him before, but I think it went pretty well. My comms could have been better, and just because it was our first time playing, I'm not upset about anything. I think we got good potential. I think I got a lot to work on, but, we'll see where we go.
Yeah, perfect. So talk to me a little bit about what was going through your mind specifically. Again, just in those drops, what did you notice right off the bat of, oh, hey, we really need to work on this, or, oh, hey, this was something that will build as we continue to get comfortable with each other?
Well, obviously comms. I think he's good with comms. I'm not the best with comms, so I think the more we work on that, the better things will go. I think there's a really big skill difference. He's a lot better than me, so I think if I can improve a lot more, we'll have better chemistry. I can't do half the things he does, but
Lachlan here being one of the more gifted, we'll say, talented players here. Definitely get that. You're definitely not the only one that feels that way, so don't beat yourself up too much. Unfortunately, not the drops that we would have liked to see from you guys tonight. How are you going to shift your motivation, especially going into next week when you guys are first dropping in competition compared to this week where it was just kind of fun and you guys are truly feeling each other out for the first time?
well, I think it would help if we picked a spot and we're able to figure out like chests, like loop paths. This game, it was kind of just we landed. We found a loop path, like we kind of made it up by ourselves. But I think it would be better if we, had a, how do I say this? If we have a predetermined loop path, so that we can get the loot and get out quicker.
Well, and to that, right, you're also getting an idea of course, the loot's random, but, oh, hey, there's this many chests. Oh, hey, we can get roughly this many mats. You know what I mean? That can help you prepare mid and late game, depending on how your early game goes. And finally, I asked Lachlan the same question I want to ask you. Being that really, I mean, this is your first practice with us, so of course there's that. But knowing that you guys are entering the league late, are you potentially hoping, because it is possible, to sneak into playoffs and really make a name for yourselves with this being, especially, again, your first season here?
Well, obviously the goal is always to make it to playoffs and to do as best as I can do. I won't be as upset if I don't make it just because I'm joining so late, but it would be really cool if I was able to, and me and Lakun would be able to make it. So.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time up here. Go ahead and put the headset down. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
With that being said, guys, that is going to do it for us here at Valhalla Camp Hill. Wow, man, what can I say? What an exciting night. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. And to be blunt with you guys, I hope the audio's fixed. I really want to start live streaming. I want you guys to be in here live and to be excited and all that stuff. I had a great time casting tonight. I hope you guys had a great time watching. With that being said, come back tomorrow for some Overwatch and Wednesday for either Apex or Rocket League, and then of course Thursday for Valorant. Now that I am here full-time, you guys, or not full-time, but now that I am able to be here every night of the week, you guys will get me here every night of the week, so you will have content every night of the week. Of course, we're still working on getting the other coaches up to speed and all that as well, but for now, you guys will have to deal with little old me. But with that being said, again, thank you so much from myself, Coach Christian, and everyone here at Valhalla. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for tuning in. And we hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.